Welcome, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to episode 137 of Lakers Talk with Gerald. Appreciate everybody for joining. Today, everybody, we're going to talk about the Lakers' last preseason game a few days ago. That was Sunday, October 3rd, I believe. That was a game against the New Jersey Nets. So we're going to discuss what I thought about that game, the highlights, the lowlights, and, the different people that we saw play in that game, like Malik Monk. We saw Kendrick Nunn. We saw DeAndre Jordan. Even Anthony Davis played in that game. And the rest of the team, Bazemore, Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howards, Rajon Rondo. So we saw all of them. So I'm going to discuss what I thought of the game. We're also going to take a look at today's game because we have our second preseason game today. Today is October 6th, 2021. So we're going to play the Phoenix Suns. We're going to discuss that game and the outlook of what we expect for the game and who's going to play and who's not going to play. We're also going to discuss Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol recently announced his retirement from the NBA after 19 NBA seasons. And it also was announced that the Lakers are going to retire his jersey, number 16. So we're going to talk about that. Also going to talk about what my expectations for the season, what I expect for the Lakers this year and this team and what we can do. That's going to be a good conversation right there. Also, how many games do we think we're going to win this year? I'm going to give my thoughts on that and just my overall excitement for this season. So let's get right into the review of the Lakers' first preseason game. So as mentioned, that was October 3rd versus the Nets. It was already announced that we weren't going to play LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Ariza. All four of those guys were going to be out. Now, that's three of our forwards that are on our roster. So we're really thin, especially that game on forwards. And so it showed in that game. So who do we have as forwards? We have Carmelo Anthony, we have Ariza, and then we have Anthony Davis. That's pretty much all the forwards, guys that are 6'7" and taller, that kind of can play that power forward or small forward spot. And so I didn't really think about that when I first heard that those guys were going to be out. But now that once the game started, it was announced that we were going to start three guards essentially and a center and Anthony Davis. So the starters end up being Kendrick Nunn, Anthony Davis, Jordan, Bazemore, and Wayne Ellington. Those were the starters. So those are all guys that are 6'5" or smaller for the guards. Anthony Davis about 6'10", and you got Jordan, who's about 6'11". Now, with that lineup, everybody, we started off very slow. Initially, Anthony Davis scored our first bucket at a drive to the basket with a little shot floater. He made it. It was an and one. He made the free throw, and we were up 3-0. And then what proceeded after that was we began to get outscored 11-0. We weren't playing much defense. Our defense was pretty poor. Our boxing out was pretty poor. We were getting out rebounded. They were getting a lot of second chance scoring. At the same time, everybody, we are a new team. This group of guys, we have never played together. We have a bunch of new guys on this roster, including pretty much everybody that started with the exception of Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis only played 36 games last year in the regular season. And of course he got hurt, again in the playoffs. So he really was just trying to get his legs under him. He said he wanted to play just a little bit just to kind of get his rhythm, get his legs under him, just get a feel for the game. We did see a lot of good things, I will say, about that game. Kind of highlights of the game, things that look good. Number one standout was Malik Monk. Malik Monk, 23 years old. We got him on a minimum contract, which we really lucked out by getting him. He really gave us something by signing with us because he could have went somewhere and made upwards of $9 million a year. Very talented young guy. So he really played very well. I was very happy about what he brought to the table. I like his package of being able to dribble and create his own shot. He had a nice step back three. He hit a couple threes in this game. He hit a couple mid-range pull-ups. Man, he had a fast break layup. He just was very dynamic, I thought. He seemed pretty quick. He was good dribbling the ball. He can create his own basket. Just all those type of things. It looked like he can get to the basket too. And he's a guy, from what I understand, that could complete lobs also. So I was very excited about Malik Monk. Very good. Right now he came off the bench. I would really like him to actually probably start. I would say I would like him to start today's game against the Suns. I want to see what he looks like as a starter because to me, he gave more than what Bazemore and Wayne Ellington gave, just at least for that game. He looked quicker. He looked more creative. He looked like the better scorer. Bazemore and Wayne Ellington kind of took a while to kind of show a little something. I wasn't seeing a whole lot from them right from the gate. So number one, Malik Monk. Number two guy that I saw off the bench that I really liked, or excuse me, not off the bench, but in this game that I really liked was Kendrick Nunn. At first, in the first quarter, I didn't really, it was kind of a slow showing for Kendrick Nunn too, but he started to heat up too. He showed that he can take guys off the dribble. He shows that he has good handle. He shows that he has a nice little mid-range jumper also. He showed that he has a nice little floater game, and he showed that he can hit the three. So all those three things were pretty nice, and he looked pretty good. I really liked his production, even though, like I said, he started. But I feel like he's a good backup guard for Russell Westbrook. Now, he looks like he's more of a scorer than a assist guy, but I think that would be great off the bench. I really like that Kendrick Nunn as a backup for Russell Westbrook directly off the bench. Next, THT. Talon Horton-Tucker. What did I think of him? Now, we recently just signed him to a 3-year contract for upwards of $9 million or so a year. Now, so a lot of pressure is going to be on THT. I believe going into his third year, he's only 20 years old, and he was okay. He didn't impress me because his handles weren't quite as tight as Kendrick Nunn and Malik Monk. Now, unfortunately, he's got those two to be compared against now because, hey, I mean, you're making way more money now, so you're going to have eyes really on you and expecting you to show some things. His handle was decent, but I don't really see him as a backup. I don't see him as a point guard. And that's what I feel like we've been kind of trying to use him as kind of a point guard to try to initiate the offense, to try to dribble. And I don't really see him as a really tight ball handler like that. He has really good reach and things like it. And his handle is decent, but I don't see it as tight as like Malik Monk or Kendrick Nunn. So therefore, I don't think he should kind of be used a lot as a point guard. I think he should be used more like a two guard because that's what I feel like he's more of. And his defense was okay. Like I said, his playmaking was he made some turnovers. He had some drives to the basket where he tried to force it. At least that's what it felt like. And he got blocked when there was a wide open Wayne Ellington in the corner for a three. And it was one where he just didn't pass it to him and he tried to force the shot and he got it blocked and it was a turnover and the other team came down and scored on us. So that was a swing of a 4 to 5 points that could have been. So wasn't super impressed with THT. More to come. We're going to see more of him tonight. But like I said, I think what we're going to try to do is force a lot of minutes to THT, which I think will kind of get taken minutes away from Malik Monk or Kendrick Nunn. And I hope that doesn't happen because I really want to see a lot of Malik Monk and Kendrick Nunn getting a lot of minutes for the Lakers, at least 20 plus minutes for both of them. Next, DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan, what did I think of him? There's a lot of Nets fans out there. I see a lot of Twitter and there's Nets fans like, man, you guys, you don't know what you got in DeAndre Jordan. He's a liability on the defense. He's slow and all these different things. But I don't know. I feel like, yes, DeAndre Jordan did seem a little slow at sometimes, but it looked like whenever they passed him the ball, his hands weren't always that great as far as catching it. But what he did provide is lob threat. He did catch a lob from Bazemore in the game. That was nice. It was an and one. He also had 3 blocks in this game, and this is like in somewhere like 11 or so minutes. He had 3 blocks. So that shows that he's very useful for protecting the rim, and that's one of the things we got him for. We really got him for lob threat and protecting the rim and being that rim protector. That way we can always have a rim protector on the floor. And so for those things, he accomplished his mission. He's not there to play 30 minutes a game. He's there to play probably 15 minutes a game, maybe start so that he can get run about 6 or so minutes and then bring Dwight Howard in or either move Anthony Davis to the center. So that's what he was there for, and I think he's going to be decent for us. I think when we get guys like LeBron, Westbrook in the game, you're going to see a big difference in his effectiveness as far as like lob threats. Remember, DeAndre Jordan shot 76% field goals last year, meaning that he didn't take a lot of shots that he can't make. He didn't take outside shots. He only dunked it when it was lobbed or he had a dunk available. So that's going to be big for us. And I believe he right now owns the record for the highest percentage of active players in the league, a field goal percentage. So that's what we got him for. He's going to be all right. Anthony Davis played most of the first quarter. He didn't, he looked okay. He was 2 from 6 from the field. He was just kind of, he made that first shot that looked really good. He had a couple jumpers that he shot that were off and he missed. And like I said, he made 2 field goals, made a free throw or so. And, I don't know. He just looked okay. Didn't look like nothing special. And I think it didn't look like he was really going 100%. It looked like he was just kind of taking his time. He wasn't really trying to push anything. He wasn't trying to play hard. I think he was just trying to run up and down, get his win, take a couple shots, and just get a feel for the game again. So I don't think that really reflects on how he is and how he's going to be for the season. He wasn't really giving us a whole lot, in my opinion. What I think about the rest of the team, let's see. Bazemore did have a couple highlights. He did get a nice block that turned into a fast break and a score. So that was good. Wayne Ellington, he did hit a couple threes, and he showed that he does have a nice little 3 game. But it showed that it wasn't off a catch and shoot. It was more of like a handoff and like screen, coming off a screen and then taking a shot. It feels like that's kind of what he's comfortable with. So I think we're going to kind of figure out what things each guy is comfortable with. Does he prefer catch and shoots? Does he prefer coming off of a screen to get a shot? And that's the kind of things we'll have to set up these guys for once we figure out exactly what everybody does and how they like the ball, where they like the ball at. Next up is Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard came in the game, and he's coming and bringing his normal, energy to the game. He also, provides rebounding, and then rim protection, lob threat, but he also provides some fouls. He fouls often. He at least gets called for a lot of fouls because he's kind of have a reputation for kind of being wild and grabbing and throwing guys, and so the refs really looks at that and they call that kind of stuff. So he was picking up fouls really fast, even though he was being very productive for our team. I believe he made 5 out of 6 free throws. He was getting fouled, making free throws. He made a couple scores. He got it fed down low, and he made a layup from Rondo, and then he also had a putback. So he was being productive, but like I said, he was getting called for fouls very quickly. In about 13 minutes of play, he fouled out. And he fouled out on a play where he got a technical foul where he was trying to box out right after the rookie Reeves made a three-pointer, or at least right as he was making a three-pointer. He got called for a play, and it looked like he got pulled down. But the refs took about 7 or 8 minutes, and they start reviewing. And, in the replays, you see that as Dwight was trying to box out and the other guy was falling down, Dwight kind of reached his arm back to try to box him out to feel the guy's body. Well, the guy was already falling, and so he ends up hitting the guy in the face as he's falling down, and then he pulls Dwight down with him. So the refs review, and during that time, Harden came onto the court, but you couldn't see it if you're just watching the live game, and you see Dwight just talking, and the ref is there, and a bunch of people are there, and I guess he's explaining himself as the refs are reviewing it. And next thing you know, you hear a technical foul is called, and we're like, "What happened?" We don't see. It doesn't look crazy. You can't hear what he's saying, but it's just like he's discussing some things with a player or the ref. And it turns out it was James Harden he was talking to, and James Harden was on the court in street clothes, and he was just talking back and forth with him. And I don't know what he was saying, and the ref was right there. The ref heard something that he didn't like, and so then he called Dwight for a technical foul. And then after the review, they end up giving, I believe they call it a double foul. With that being said, they called Dwight with a technical foul, I believe, right? And so he ended up getting this. At the end of the day, he got his 6th foul, and he fouled out of the game. But the funny thing is, they gave both teams a free throw. The other team went and shot a free throw, and he made it. They gave Dwight a free throw, and then he made it. Then they started the play again, and they realized, like, wait a minute, Dwight, that was your sixth foul. You got to get out. And then it turns out that, of course, that point didn't count because that he shot the free throw because he should have been out of the game. So then what they did was, I believe the Nets get to pick the player that gets to shoot the free throw. So they end up choosing this guy that's like a guy that's trying to make the team. He's on like maybe a 10-day assignment. This guy, never heard of him. Probably from the G League or something. His name was something. I think his last name was James something. But they chose this guy. He wasn't even in the game. So they brought him in just to shoot that one free throw. And sure enough, he misses it. And then that guy ended up staying in the game. So it was kind of funny, a bunch of events that happened during this 7 to 8 minute span that we were waiting to get the game back started again. But it was interesting. Dwight fouled out 13 minutes. It was funny because as he was going to the bench, LeBron and Westbrook was laughing. It seemed like they was laughing at the fact that all those events and what got him fouled out. But hey, that's what happened. Hopefully we can control the number of fouls. But once again, Dwight is probably not going to be playing. Between him and DeAndre Jordan, they're probably going to be playing like 28 minutes a game. 13 to 15 minutes apiece. That's going to soak up a bunch of minutes when AD is not playing the center. So that's what I thought of everybody that played. That's what I thought of the preseason. I do want to play a little bit of audio from Anthony Davis being interviewed after the game and what his thoughts was. And we're going to just discuss it once he begins or after that interview. Here we go.
Compared to where you want to be in 2 weeks and a couple days since the actual regular season starts?
Oh, we're way behind. Getting movement on offense, quality shots, defensively, talking, getting our schemes right, rebounding, very huge. We're not boxing out. And that was the main takeaway. Just, offensive come, we're not really too worried about it, especially when we get Brian, Melo, TA, Russ out there. But it was just our first game to see where we are, and we had to do a better job defensively, especially blocking out.
Was it important to you to play in this one, AD, even if just for a quarter? Frank had alluded to a conversation you guys had, and LeBron didn't play, Westbrook. What was that about, and how did you feel actually just getting out there?
I just wanted to play. Didn't play much last season, from the injury, but I just wanted to get back and get a rhythm. That way, going into the season, I have a rhythm and ready to go. So that's really what it is, just getting a rhythm, whether it's for a quarter, 2 quarters, whatever it is. Start building these habits.
AD, there's going to be a lot of these milestones we go through as we get back towards normalcy, but just having 16,000 fans in Staples Center when you guys played in the playoffs, you didn't have that many. There were that many in Phoenix, but not here. Just the atmosphere.
It was great. To just come out the tunnel and you see fans right there, you smacking their hands again, like just the little things, which was really good to be back out there and see fans and them cheering us on and things like that. Courtside again, getting back to normal. And, to see that, hopefully we can get to that 20 again and more fans come. Obviously, the first preseason game and things like that. But it felt good to see fans out there in full effect.
That was Anthony Davis after the first preseason game on Sunday against the Nets. That's a game where he just played the first quarter, and the things he talked about was our defense. He said we're way behind on our offensive scheme, and he said and our defense was pretty bad, basically. We said we weren't boxing out for rebounds. We're getting out rebounded, and that's something that he said we're going to have to work on and we're going to have to get better with. He also talked about him playing in the game. He just wanted to kind of get his legs upon him, get in there and run up and down and kind of get his feel for the game. Other thing he kind of talked about, they asked him about the crowd and how did that feel. He said it felt really good. 16,000 plus fans in the arena. So the little things he said, like just coming out and being able to high five guys as he's coming out, that kind of stuff wasn't there last year. That gives the team a lot of energy and, pretty nice for the team. And so that's something that I'm excited about too. And I like seeing, the fans are all there, the energy that it brings, their excitement when someone comes on the court. For example, Rajon Rondo came in the first quarter when he substituted in and they called his name, number 4, Rajon Rondo. The crowd gave him a nice cheer and kind of ovation. And it was interesting because I saw an interview after like the next day or so, and somebody was asking Rajon Rondo what he felt about getting back and having the crowd there, and he said he got emotional. He said he actually almost cried when the crowd cheered for him, and especially after being gone a year or so, and then him coming back, and he's saying for them to take him in like that and welcome him on like that. He said it felt really good, and he was emotional about it. So yeah, that was pretty dope. I like that he really does feel a part of this team. Him winning that championship with us, I feel like he's a Laker for life, and he's going to be loved because he really played a big part, especially in the finals, for us winning that championship. So that's pretty great. Pretty dope. Now let's look forward to today's game. Today's game is preseason game against the Phoenix Suns. Now, it's still announced that LeBron, Russell Westbrook, and Trevor Ariza will be out this game, but we will have Carmelo Anthony playing this game along with Anthony Davis. So that's nice. We'll get to see Carmelo in a Lakers jersey for the first time. It's going to be nice. I can't wait to see how he plays with us. It's going to be pretty exciting to see him in a Lakers jersey and getting some buckets with us. I'm sure he's going to help that offense out. I like to see how he plays alongside Anthony Davis. I don't know if he's going to start or coming off the bench. I would say he probably would start because with us not having any really, we're thin on forwards, we need a forward to be out there. So I would like to see starting lineup. Oh, also, it was announced that the coach is going to let either Dwight Howard or Jordan off for this game also. So depending on who they let off, if they let DeAndre off, I'd like to see Howard start. If they let Howard off, I'd like to see DeAndre start. So let's say they let Howard off. I'd like to see DeAndre Jordan start at center, Anthony Davis at power forward, Carmelo Anthony at 3. I would love to see Malik Monk as the 2, and then Kendrick Nunn as the 1. That's what I would like to see for a starting lineup. I think that would be our best and most dynamic lineup. I don't know if it would be the best for defensive purposes, but that's what I would like to see. And if it's not, for the only other spot that I would say maybe for a change out is either maybe Wayne Ellington for Malik Monk and have Malik Monk come in to be that 6-man scorer type. So we'll see what happens in this game, but I'm excited to see it. Now, as far as the Suns, I believe Booker is the only one listed as going to be out during this game, at least as of right now. I don't see any other players listed, so they should have the rest of their team playing. And, of course, it's a preseason game, so don't expect to see big minutes from all of our big names. You're going to see bigger minutes from a lot of our bench, and then, of course, the rookies, and then these guys that are on 2-way contracts or 10-day contracts towards the second half probably. But it will be interesting to be able to see more of what we're going to get from our team, guys, all of our new guys, and what they look like. Carmelo Anthony, more of Kendrick Nunn, more of Malik Monk, more of Bazemore, more of Wayne Ellington, more of DeAndre Jordan. I'd like to see what all these guys look like on our team. I think the more and more we play, we're going to start to look more solid on offense, because we're still trying to get it together and get to know the offense and then how to play together. So we're going to look better today, I believe, in this game. Next, we're going to talk about Pau Gasol announcing his retirement after 19 years in the NBA. He played 6.5 years with the Los Angeles Lakers. He came to us in the 2007-2008 season, where he came to us after playing 39 games with the Memphis Grizzlies. He ended up playing 27 games with us. He averaged 18.8 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.6 blocks a game. He helped us to get first in the Pacific Division that year, where we made it to the finals, and we lost against the Boston Celtics. And we lost pretty bad, of course, you remember that. But that has nothing to do with him. That just came to, they had a better squad than us. And that's when they had the big three together. And so they messed us up that year. But the very next year, he helped us come back and win the championship in 2008-2009. And that year, he actually played 81 games, 18.9 points a game, almost 10 rebounds a game, and a block and 3.5 assists a game. So he really was a figure that will always be a Laker great because, like I said, after the Shaq era, he was the number 2 guy behind Kobe Bryant, helped us win 2 championships. He was an multi-time All-Star, and he just was a great, great guy. He's going to get his number 16 jersey retired. We don't know when that's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to be scheduled sometime this year at a home game or next year or what. But I'm sure when that happens, that's going to be pretty exciting. And looking forward to it, guy. Once again, stand-up guy in Pau Gasol. Let me just run down some of his accomplishments throughout his career. As we mentioned, he's a 2-time NBA championship. He's a 6-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA second team, 2-time All-NBA third team. He was 2002 Rookie of the Year, and he made the NBA All-Rookie first team. And for his Europe play, he's a 2-time FIBA Europe Player of the Year. So that's all on his accomplishments. He's a great player. He's a great guy also. Him and Kobe definitely had a connection and a link, and since Kobe's death, he's been there helping support Kobe's kids and definitely have been in their lives. So that's pretty nice. Great to hear about Pau Gasol. Congratulations on all his accomplishments and getting his name in his jersey about to be retired for the Lakers. All right, what do we expect and what is my outlook for the Lakers and the rest of the season? Well, everybody, I expect us to win Pacific Division. I expect us to win the Western Conference and have the best record in the Western Conference. I don't know if we're going to have the best record in the NBA. That remains to be seen. Maybe the Nets are going to get that. I don't know. I would love for us to get the best record in the NBA, but we have to see once the season starts how we gel. Not only that, how many games will LeBron play? Will Westbrook play? Will Anthony Davis play? And the rest of our team. If we can get some good camaraderie and those guys play a decent amount of game, I say that those combination of 3 have to play at least 60 games together for us to really dominate and to win like that. So we got to stay healthy. Health is going to be a big part of how we do this year. And then I think the gel and all that stuff is going to happen. So I see us winning. Man, I know some predictions are saying over 60 games. This season, we are playing 82 games this year. It's a possibility. However, I don't know if we're really going to go that hard, especially with our team being an older team. So we're going to have to see. I foresee us at least getting 55 wins. I think that should be enough to get the Western Conference. Who knows? But let's take last year, it was the Phoenix Suns who had the best record. I think that somewhere around 55 wins should be it. It's a lot of great teams and really good teams in the Western Conference. So every game is going to be a fight. But if we play like I think we can play, I think we're going to be dominant. I think we're going to be able to fast break a lot. I think we're going to be very dynamic when it comes to scoring. And I think we're going to play defense as a team. And I think we're going to be pretty damn good. Everybody, the remaining preseason games, as I mentioned, we play the Suns next. And then after that, we're going to play the Golden State Warriors. I believe that we're going to play them a couple games or a couple times. Really, these preseason games, I'm really looking forward to playing together, on the court together. Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. And then I also want to see a lineup with those 3 and Carmelo Anthony. I think that would be a dope lineup, and I want to see how they play together. Everybody, I think that's going to do it. That's going to wrap up episode 137 of Lakers Talk with Gerald. Please subscribe. Go ahead and follow me and check me out wherever you listen to your podcast at. All right, everybody, I'm officially out.